intuitive to understand and it's still very useful. And I will explain why I'm saying it's very useful. Okay. So again, like previous modules, I have selected few chapters from the books which I will refer for this module. But I will highly recommend to read chapter 3 of Tom Mitchell's book. In Tom Mitchell's book, this concept is explained very nicely, compactly, but very nicely. Okay, again, this is supervised machine learning problem. Decision tree classifier is supervised classifier, and this problem's formalization is same as we have seen before. So we are given a data set D, and D composes of feature vector X and corresponding label Y, as we know what is X and Y. So X has dimensions D, and Y is associated label. And we are trying to find a function X that maps inputs to output. So again, this is a problem of function approximation. So we are trying to find a hypothesis H that this is a function that maps X to Y. And if training is done correctly, this hypothesis on training set, once given a feature vector xi, will give an output yi or corresponding yi. So this is a supposition if training is done correctly. All right, so this is like basic notion or basic idea of decision trees. So this is this classifier approximates discrete value function. Discrete means it has discrete values, not continuous, right? But there are some extensions that can handle real valued function as well. But initially, once decision tree was proposed, it was for discrete valued function. And the good thing is this learned tree or learned decision tree can be represented as if then else rules. The thing which you do in programming, if do this, else do this. So decision tree is very intuitive in understanding in this sense because its representation is very intuitive and we can represent any decision tree using if else rules. And I will explain why. The advantage is it is human readable. And there is a notion of explainability of machine learning algorithms. Probably you have heard this is a very new term coined in last 3 years, I guess. And as you know, neural networks are called as black box. You cannot explain them to any human, but decision trees are very good in terms of explainability. So once you have a decision tree, you can explain using if else rules, and it becomes more of a white box rather than a black box. So if you train a system on medical images, let's say, and you want to go to the doctor to explain why some image is labeled as cancerous and the other is benign. This, if you have a decision tree, you can just give decision tree and it's so intuitive that anyone can understand why if for a given image classification is giving label X or label Y, whatever. So this becomes so much easier, intuitive and explainable. So this is why decision trees are still very useful because they have very good intrinsic explainability, which is not there in either in SVM or perceptron we did last time. Even in neural networks, in deep neural networks, they are kind of a black box. But this decision tree is very good in that sense because we can explain why a classifier is producing certain results. Right? Any query on this point? Any query, anyone? Okay, I'll move forward. So it is very simple yet powerful algorithm, right? As I said. So this is example of a decision tree, and you can see that just by looking at this tree, we can understand what kind of decisions are made or represented using this kind of a representation. So this is a decision tree to make a decision whether a person gonna buy a car or not. So we can see that it says that if color is red, if this is true, then go towards this branch. If this condition is not true, go towards this branch. So this is kind of a decision you made on the root node and on the attribute given in our feature vector. So these attributes actually are coming from our feature vector, right? So this is X feature vector. and we are just cutting through the data set or the database using these attributes. So if this attribute is true, if we get a decision as true or yes, we will have another decision node which checks whether model is greater than 2010 or not, like whether car is newer than 2010 or not. If even this is true, then according to our data set, we say that okay, person is going to buy a car. If this is not true, then go towards this right branch and check another decision and check another attribute value. And if this attribute value is true, then buy a car, otherwise don't buy a car. Right, so it's so much intuitive. Like this is the classification process. You have seen perceptron, SVM, KNN. They're very difficult to make sense to a person who is not machine learning guy. But this is so intuitive to explain to anyone, right? So we can write this tree as if else or if then rules very easily, like I was explaining you before. And each internal node tests an attribute. So these are internal nodes. I will explain again. These are internal nodes. So first is root node, then these are internal nodes. And these internal nodes are taking decision on attribute values. And each branch corresponds to an attribute value. So this is a branch. So it corresponds to value of an attribute. So if a value is either true or false, like this is true and this is false, so based on the result, it goes either to the left or to the right. So this is like a branching, cutting through your data set. And each leaf node, these are called leaf nodes in decision tree, which are at the bottom of the decision tree, and I have shown them in color. These are decision node or a classification result is there. Okay, Prashant, what you want to ask?
सर इसमें सर फिर लर्निंग तो होगी नहीं बिकॉज ईच टाइम वी आर जस्ट डूइंग सम रैंडम डिसीजंस और उसकी बेसिस पे हम लोग कंक्लूजन में पहुंच रहे हैं.
Right, but how to make this kind of a tree? Learning is inducing this tree. Right now I'm showing you decision tree, it makes so much easier. But how this decision tree came to us? This is learning. We have
Okay.
given a data set and we are learning this decision tree. So I'm just giving you a notion of decision tree, but once you will start seeing into more detail, you will understand where is learning there.
Okay, sir. Okay, got it.
Okay, so each bottom node is like leaf node is a decision node, and this gives a probability of y given x. So probability of y given x means probability of finding any label y given feature vector x, or in other sense is just a class. So here, if it is a pure leaf node, all the examples from a decision from a data set would be from one class. But this is also possible that in this leaf node there is some impurity. But I will explain this later on. Don't confuse. But at the bottom, this is like a decision node, and it's so much intuitive to understand. And you just get the sense that this is a probability of y. Y is a class. So y is a class that we are trying to predict given feature vector x. So this is feature vector, right? So this is in terms of machine learning, this is how we can show represent data using decision tree. So there are different parts of decision tree as I explained before, just a bit in more detail. So these nodes, right, this is a node, in fact is a decision node. Decision node is based on attribute or feature value, right? So this is attribute or feature value. So this would be a data set. I will explain later on. And there is an attribute called color, and this attribute is red. So based on this attribute value, we are making a decision. These are called edges. As you have learned in data structure, these are edges of a tree, and edges represent path to follow considering decision node attribute value. So it's like a decision. So if this is true, go to left, or otherwise go to right, right? And summary nodes represent attributes and edge represent values, right? So so nodes represent attribute. So this is an attribute, and edge represent its value. Based on value, you do something, right? And these circles at the bottom of the tree represent decision, as I explained before. Decision is reached after answering or probing different attribute values. So you can just think that these internal nodes or This decision nodes, this is like you're probing, you are asking series of questions. Remember when we used to play game of like guessing something in 10 questions, we keep on asking 10 questions or 15 questions, and at the end we are trying to guess the personality or something. So this decision tree is actually same. We are asking series of questions, and based on answer of one question, we ask another question. So this is like asking a question. This is second question we ask, and based on these two questions, we reach to this conclusion. So this is like a high level intuition of a decision tree. So this decision tree is this example or this contrived example that I'm showing you probably have this kind of a data set, right? So you can see we have different attributes. So attribute is color, second attribute is model, third is mileage, fourth is type, fifth is make, and this is our y or decision, right? So these attributes are a feature vector x, and based on this feature vector we are trying to reach this decision y, right? So you can see that we have two classes. This is like a binary class problem, buy and don't buy. And this tree actually represents this data set. So by asking series of questions, decision classification can be made. But it's important to note that it is not necessary that all attributes take part in decision making process. This is very important to know. It is not necessary that all attributes take part. Right now in this data set, I have an attribute called type of vehicle, but type is not represented in this decision tree. It means that probably this attribute doesn't contribute much in classification process, or our learner or learning algorithm doesn't give this attribute weight because this is not giving like discriminative information for the classes. Even make is not represented. So this decision tree actually is made using only these three attributes: color, model, and mileage. So these two attributes are redundant in terms of this decision tree or this example decision tree. So this is possible to have few attribute taking part in decision making process or all. Yes, Iman, do you have any question?
Yes, sir. Sir, on what basis do we decide which attributes are going to take part in decision making process?
Yeah, good question. We will come there. This is actually probably you have heard of something called information gain. So actually, this is some kind of statistical test we will perform on different attributes, and based on this, on that test value, we will mark either this attribute is useful or not. Just for the sake of answering your question right now, but we will do this like completely like how to find attributes. But these are statistical tests that will perform on attributes, and based on their answer, we will find weights of the attribute. Like this attribute has more weight than other attribute for this classification process. Okay.
Sir, तो जो हम process करेंगे the statistical test that you're talking about, can we apply this test on other algorithms too for feature extraction?
You can do because we'll do information gain. Information gain is based on entropy. So few tests are like more geared towards kind of one classification, but you can do. Why not? We'll do entropy based something, and entropy is measure of randomness or measure of information in the bits. So you can just apply in other classifiers as well. Okay.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Okay. Any question from this contrived example, this data set and this representation of this data set? Okay. Ji, Abdul Aziz, do you want to ask anything?
Those are the no questions.
Unfortunately, you're not audible.
सर मैं बोल रहा था नो क्वेश्चन, आप पूछ रहे थे ना क्वेश्चन.
Okay. Okay, so let me move forward. So now you have seen that how decision is made. We'll start asking question from the root node, and based on the answer, we ask another question. On series of questions are asked, and we reach a decision. So let's say if this is the decision tree given to you, and I give you this feature vector. Can you give me its output y based on this decision, based on this x, based on this feature vector?
सर इसका आउटपुट होगा बाय.
इसका output होगा by, right? Why you are saying that it would be an output would be by?
Because sir, the color is red and the model is greater than 2010, so the tree will follow the by path.
Okay, right. So again, it's so much intuitive to explain, like Miss Iman was explaining. The first question, according to this decision tree, is to check color. So if color is red, we'll follow this branch, which is on the left side of the tree. And the next question is we are going to ask the model.
Don't buy actually.
No, it will be. I'll explain why. So according to this tree, we are at the red, then model is greater than 2010 because model is given 2013 in our example. So we reach over here, again true, and the decision is by, right? Jamali, why you are asking that this would be not buy or don't buy?
Second mileage 60,000 and right side pay mileage
No,
less
we
than
are asking
50,000
question.
check.
You have to follow this tree from the root node.
Mama, तुम्हारा कैमरा ऑन है, please close कर दो.
Mama, please close down your camera. Jamali, you have to ask questions according to this tree, and the root node checks color, right? You cannot start randomly from any other node. You have to start from root node always.
रूट से आपने स्टार्ट किया रेट, देन मॉडल चेक किया, आफ्टर
Right.
दैट माइलेज आता है ना, माइलेज
No.
60,000 है.
If you just follow this one, and the second question is mileage, right? And if this is true, we
Yes,
reach
sir.
here. We don't need to ask anything else. We don't need anything else. We have reached this decision by.
मतलब डिसीजन मिल गया, आप उठा लेंगे वो डिसीजन.
Because we have reached leaf node. We have reached leaf node. Mr. Mama, please close down your
reaching leaf
camera.
node,
Wait, Jamali. Can anyone message Miss Mama to close down her camera?
सो लगता है वो नहीं है.
Okay, we'll continue. Ji, Jamali, what you want to ask?
सर मतलब लीफ नोड होगा मेरे डिसीजन में, तो मैं उस लीफ नोड को कंसीडर कर लूंगा, उससे नीचे
Exactly.
नहीं जाऊंगा.
Because you have reached here. You have asked questions according to this decision tree, and you reach a leaf node, and you make a decision. That's it.
पर उसके राइट साइड पे सर नीचे
You
वो
don't need to
डेप्थ
go
है.
here. You don't need to go over here. You just ask, you follow this decision tree. It's just like trickling down water from the mountain, right? So एक कोई path बनता जा रहा है, like you are following a path, and based on the path you choose a decision. It's as simple as that.
ओके.
ठीक है? Okay. So in fact, decision tree represent disjunction of conjunction. You all have heard, I think, these two terms in discrete mathematics or discrete structure. So decision tree represent disjunction of conjunction of constraints on the attribute values or examples. An example is classified by sorting it through the tree from the root to the leaf node. Exactly what I was explaining last time, right? Starting from the root node, you try to find the leaf, and based on the leaf you make a decision. And this is like a series of questions, and in terms of logic, this is like a disjunction of conjunctions. Conjunction is, can anyone explain what is conjunction? Conjunction is like and, like making two conditions at the same time, trying to find decision based on two conditions. It's like a and disjunction is or, just to make it simple. ठीक है? Is it clear to you guys that disjunction is or and conjunction is and?
Yes, sir.
Can you write this decision tree in terms of disjunction of conjunctions? Or simply if I ask you, can you write if else rules looking at this tree?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you have 1 minute to supply me an answer in the chat window. Be quick, just 1 minute. I'm giving you a hint. I've written like first statement. Even if you have done half, please paste your answer.
Sir, I have pasted the half of the decision tree.
Okay, let me check. Mr. Abdulaziz Fareed has also posted if color is greater than model, then pi equal to 1 else. Right. Model equal to Ferrari. Is it model make? Okay. Okay, kind of true. Okay. Okay. So in terms of disjunction of conjunctions, we can write it like this. So again, instead of and, I have written conjunction simple. So if color is red and model is greater than 2010, then by or. So this is and this is or color is red and model is less than 2010. So we reach over here and mileage is less than 50,000. So we go over here, right? Then we buy or color is yellow, we reach over here and make is Ferrari, we reach over here, then buy, right? So in three statements, we just represented this tree in terms of disjunction of conjunctions, right? And any query?
Yes, sir. सर एक्सक्यूज मी
Yeah.
सर हमने इसमें सिर्फ बाय वाली कंडीशंस लिखी हैं और डोंट बाय वाली नहीं लिखी, लेकिन
नहीं.
ज़रूरी थोड़ी है कि अगर हमने
In all other conditions, is don't buy. If you just think logically, in all other conditions, this is not right. So it's just the probability of y given x. So it would be like 1 minus something, we'll get the other one. We don't need to write it. Okay, any other question? Okay, now again, and it's a bit more easier example for you guys. So now we'll see that how trees can represent Boolean functions. So I have shown one Boolean function of and we all know this is the truth table. And is like conjunction x conjunction y and or x and y. So this is sign of conjunction. So what will be decision tree? Can you write or can you just represent this Boolean function in terms of tree? It will hardly take 30 seconds to draw a tree. Should I
सर
show
इट
you?
इज ऑलरेडी ड्रॉन आई थिंक एक्स एंड वाई, तो उस पे से ट्रू है, बाकी सब पे फॉल्स है.
Just draw it. Yeah, in terms of tree, let me show you. In terms of tree, this would be decision tree. So if we start splitting on x, let's say if x is true and y is true, then it is positive or 1, otherwise it's negative. That's simple, right? Any confusion on this decision tree of and? Is it clear to you guys?
Yes, sir.
Now I ask you a question. Can we swap x and y?
I guess yes, sir.
Even by swapping, you will have this is true. This remains legitimate decision tree for AND, right? Okay. So by choosing different attributes at the top of tree, algorithm may find better representation, but this is not true in this case. But generally it matters. Like Miss Iman was asking, like how to select which attribute goes at the top, or how to select which attribute is better to use in the decision tree. So attribute selection is one of the main concern of inducing decision trees, and we'll spend some time on it. But in this example, in this Boolean function, this doesn't matter by swiping X or Y, but it generally it matters a lot, like which attribute is selected at the root node, because that splits your data set into half. Right? So this is like a data set, and we have induced a decision tree based on this data. So these are x's, these are our x's, and this is our y. Right? And same we can do for OR. It's again so simple. So if either of them is true, output is true. So if x is true, output is true. If x is false, then we check on y. If y is true, then it's true, right? So this all these three conditions are checked on this decision tree. Otherwise, it's false, right? If both are false, it's false. So if x is false, and y is false, it is false, otherwise it is true. So this is decision tree for OR. So we can represent Boolean function very easily using decision tree representation, and actually learning is there, like Jamali was asking where is learning. Right now its data set is so small that we have induced automatically, but as the data set increase, we'll see that by what I mean by inducing a decision tree and how learning is done in decision trees. Okay, again. Okay, now I want you guys to make a decision tree for XOR or XOR or exclusive OR. Truth table or data set is given over here, and I want you guys to just draw decision tree of exclusive OR. Okay, you have 30 seconds. Anyone? किसी ने किया अभी तक complete? Please be quick.
I'm sending you my solution in the chat box.
Okay. Okay, I have received couple of solutions. Basit, X false, Y false, true, right. It's X1, yes. Farid, I'm not getting what you mean by X equal to 1. You're just checking is true or false. Is 1 is true? Okay, I'll express it. Okay. Iman, if X true, false, right. Okay. Most of them have got it. Omama, X false, true, false, false, true. ठीक है. Okay, Miss Varda, quite abstract art वर्दा ने भेजा है मैं. X0100 right वर्दा ठीक है. Hera, okay, let me see. All right. Okay, I'll show you the answer. All of them are correct. All of them are correct. So this would be decision tree for XOR or exclusive or Boolean function. So if X is true and Y is true, then it is false. If X is true, Y is false, then it is true. And if X is false, like X is false, Y is true, Y is true, then it is true, and otherwise it's false. All right. It's any query on this decision tree? अगर किसी को नहीं समझ में आया, if anyone who doesn't get it, अच्छा, there is a difference in this decision tree and this decision tree. Can anyone explain what is the difference between decision tree of OR and exclusive OR?
Sir, in exclusive or when there are two different inputs, then the output is true. And when there are two similar inputs, two same inputs, the output is zero. But in
Right.
or
But in terms of representation, I'm asking in terms of decision tree or representation, there is a little difference between two trees. Not like how decision is made, but there is an intrinsic difference between these two trees.
So
Sir,
where
there
there
are
is
more
shown.
nodes.
Please go ahead. जी फरीद.
सर मतलब आई गेस एक्सोर वाला बैलेंस ट्री है और वाला जो है वो बैलेंस नहीं है.
This is true as well, but someone said something in between.
Sir, I was saying that there are more nodes in the XOR.
Exactly, there are more nodes. And why there are more nodes?
सर क्योंकि हमारा डिसीजन दोनों एट्रीब्यूट्स पे डिपेंड कर रहा है.
Exactly right. Actually, this is like we are following each and every example to find its decision tree. Right? Last time when we did OR, we just chose few attributes. We don't check over here like if this is true, like otherwise I will say if I will say okay y, I'll check y again and I will make a decision based on this. But we already know that if we have reached over here, if x is true, it's always true. We don't need to check attribute y over here. We only check y once x is false. So it's like compact representation. We can just show each example in this tree, and this is again a legitimate representation, but we show like compactness of the tree. But in exclusive OR, it was impossible because we cannot make decision. We cannot just remove this part of the tree and say this is true for exclusive OR. We need to visit each and every example to find its tree. So this is like representation, like compactness. Once it is possible, decision tree can make compact representation. But if it is not possible, like in case of exclusive OR, compactness is not possible, then we have to add more attributes to represent this function, this Boolean function, right? So this tree is another representation of full truth table. Like this is a complete truth table we represented, unlike AND or OR, and which is compact representation as some branches were not required in case of AND or OR. This compactness will matter for inducing tree with many attributes. Right now we are playing with only 2 attributes, but let's consider your feature vector dimension is 1000 or 2000. Then this compactness will come into play, and this is actually used a lot in decision trees to have compact representation, and this is actually a way of avoid overfitting. Once we come over here, we'll explain what I mean, but this is the way how decision tree can represent different Boolean functions. So now consider this problem. This is the data set I have written over here, right? So these are x's, feature vector 1, 2, 3, right? These are dimensions of feature vector, and this is label y, right? So how many, I want to ask you a question, how many decision trees to be looked at in order to find the right one? I will just explain like how many functions are there. I'm trying to question this. How many functions are there in this truth table? So data set is d dimension. We can see there are d dimensions, right? So this is subscript is dimension of feature vector, and superscript is example number. So example number 1 dimension 1, example number 1 dimension 2. So this is like a d dimension feature vector. Right, and target function is y, and this is like Boolean. So this could be true or false, right? This is like y, yes or no, true or false. And this label, this feature vector is also Boolean. Just to explain you better, this one example can be considered as a function. Like this is one function, this is second function, this is third function. Because this is based on x and y, we are getting label value y. So if generic, in terms of generic, I'm asking how many functions are there in the data set of d dimensions, just to make it clear, right? And to make it easy, output is Boolean, and input or the feature vector attributes are also Boolean, right? Now it is clear to you guys. Like this is our label, this is our data set now. So each feature vector dimension or attribute has 2 possible values or Boolean values, true or false, and label is also true and false. Now I want to ask you guys, or I want you guys to answer me, how many functions are there of d dimension feature vector? Just consider what we have did in OR, exclusive OR, and how many functions were there based on in terms of their dimension, because they were Boolean functions. Again, we are looking at the Boolean function. Is feature vector is either true or false? Ji, Abdul Aziz, do you want to ask any question?
Sir, 2 की power d.
Right. Can you explain why you reached this conclusion, 2 की power d, 2 to the d?
सर जनरली हम लोग जैसे लॉजिक गेट्स की बात करें तो नंबर ऑफ इनपुट्स पर डिपेंडेंट होता है, जितने नंबर ऑफ इनपुट होते हैं 2 की पावर उतने नंबर हमारी वो हो जाती है टोटल नंबर ऑफ फंक्शन, इसमें नंबर ऑफ इनपुट इज द नंबर ऑफ डायमेंशंस, तो 2 की पावर टी।
Perfect. Right. As Farid said rightly, it's 2 to the d. 2 to the power of d functions are there in this data set. And why I'm saying, because these are Boolean attribute values, right? So 2 to the d, consider like when we were doing XOR or OR, we were having x, x1, x2 and y. So it's like a 2-dimension, d is 2 over here, and 2 to the 2 means 4. So we had 4 possible functions in that OR truth table or data set. So now we have d, and we don't know how many rows or examples are there in the data set. We can just find using same notation 2 to the d. Yes, Prashant, do you want to ask any question?
Sir, if we don't have an Boolean function, then would it still work, decision tree?
No, and it will work. Decision tree would work, but I am just considering this problem. I am just considering Boolean to make it easier. But
Okay.
yes, decision trees are very generic. They are not only for Boolean, they are for all kind of data sets. Okay, so
Okay.
we reach to this conclusion that there are 2 to the d functions in the data set. How many rows in the table of functions? Is there are 2 to the d possibilities. So how many functions possibilities are there? 2 to the d, right? But the question is how many functions or decision trees this algorithm has to look to find a decision tree for 2 to the d rows. Now you consider we have label which is also Boolean. So this is like a bit 0 or 1. Again there are two possibilities. So actually this becomes 2 to the d, right? Possibilities are there 2 to the d rows. There are 2 to the d rows. Output for each row we have two possibilities, are they true or false. Thus 2 to the d, right, possibilities. This is double exponential and give very big number for very small values of d. This is double exponential. So we have 2 to the d rows, and if we consider their output label y, because decision tree has to find or has to classify based on the label, and label again has two possibilities, either 0 or 1 or true or false. So this becomes exponential of 2 to the d possible rows, right? 2 to the d. So if you just consider if d is equal to 6, it will give you something in billions. So for only 6 dimensions, usually we have data set of 100 dimensions, 200 dimensions, maybe 1000 dimensions. Consider amount of trees that are possible in our hypothesis space H, because this is our hypothesis space H, and decision tree is trying to find H from this hypothesis space. So like this is like a big space of curly H, and we are trying to find one H, one small h that best represent this kind of a data set. So this is like you need to have really robust tree inducer algorithm that finds best h from among these billions and billions of possibilities of trees. Just by changing one bit, we'll have a different tree, right? So this is like space is very expressive in terms of expressiveness. This curly h is very expressive, and like it can represent any function. Like in terms of exclusive, or it will visit each and every example and will build a node based on one example. It will build a node. So it's very expressive. Different functions, every function we can just represent using this curly h space, but we need to find a small h or the best h based on the data set that is given to us, right? And the discussion we did 2 to the d is not only applicable to decision tree. This is applicable to all supervised machine learning problem, because this space h, curly h, is very big, and all of this classifiers are trying to find a small h which best approximates the function. given on the data set. So again, this is true for decision tree, but this discussion is true for SVM. This decision tree, discussion is true for perceptron, k nearest neighbor, and so on and so forth. Right? Is this clear to you guys? This number 2 to the 2 to the d. Any question from this slide?
सर
No,
2
sir.
की पावर d तो समझ आ गया, लेकिन
Yes.
2 to d की पावर समझ नहीं।
Double exponential. Okay. This too comes from the fact that these are examples, and based on this example, we could have two possible outputs, right? So 2 to the d is this thing x, right? And based on this 2 to the d, we could have exponential number of labels, right? For each example, we have two possible outputs, either true or false. So 2 to the d is number of feature vector kind of in terms of machine learning that we are doing, and 2 to the d means two possible outputs for 2 to the d rows.
Okay sir, got it. सर 2 मल्टीप्लाई बाय 2 की पावर d नहीं होना चाहिए फिर तो।
सॉरी, क्या कहा आपने? समझ में नहीं आया।
सर अगर हम इस बेसिस में जो है ना ट्रू एंड फॉल्स है, इस बेसिस में आप पावर ले रहे हैं, आई थिंक 2 की पावर d मल्टीप्लाई बाय 2 नहीं होना चाहिए, क्योंकि मतलब इट्स आइदर गोना बी ट्रू और फॉल्स।
नहीं, एक्सपोनेंशियल है ना, बिकॉज यू आर लुकिंग एट ईच एग्जाम्पल एंड मेकिंग अ डिसीजन। मल्टीप्लाई नहीं होगा, दिस इज लाइक एक्सपोनेंशियल नंबर, like probably you have done in design and analysis of algorithm DAA course. Once you try to find big O notation, right? So you can just think in that sense that there are 2 to the d examples, and each example can give an output of 2. So it becomes, it's like combinatorial problem. So it's 2 to the 2 to the d. Any other question? So this number, this double exponential grows very fast. As I'm saying that just solve it for if d equal to 6. You will have something in billions. So for 6-dimension feature vector, it's like you have billions of possible trees in our Curly space H, right? So on the other hand, this shows that hypothesis patch is this curly H is very expressive, and there are lots and lots of functions that can be represented by a decision tree. But this also points to the fact that algorithm that selects tree that we will do, this is tree inducer, this is inducer that will induce a tree. This tree inducer should be robust enough to find best representation given such huge number of choices. So if out of those billion choices, this tree inducer will select one tree based on the data set. Right. So this is like you have one tree over here, and based on this attribute results, you go over here, you select another attribute, and based on this attribute, there is like a chunk of trees. So this is like kind of, a pyramid of trees. You are growing pyramid of trees based on the data set. And this grows exponentially if you have like based on this T. So out of those trees, those billions and billions of trees, we select one tree. Right. Can anyone tell me what would be the answer if d equal to 6? If anyone has a scientific calculator, just solve for 2 to the 2 to the d.
वन पॉइंट एट मल्टीप्लाई बाय 10 की पावर 19।
10 की power 19. 10 to the 19. It's more than billion. The billion is 10 to the 12. So probably trillion. I don't know. But this is like a huge number only for 10 to this d if d equal to 6. And consider we have feature vector of 100 dimensions, 200 dimensions. So it would be, I don't know what number it would be, but this is like a huge number, right? So this is like a basic notion of representation of trees. So different extension proposed. I think this is we have done. Important thing is this decision tree learning algorithms. I have said the word inducer. So decision tree learning algorithm or inducer is one and the same thing. In this class, we will do ID3, which is basic decision tree learning algorithm. An extension of ID3, which is still we use is C4.5. It's almost same. There is a little bit of optimization in C4.5. But in this class, we will do ID3. And they are robust to errors in classification labels and errors in attribute values. We will do this. But in this class or in this course, we will do this algorithm ID3. So decision tree algorithm are robust to missing attribute values in training data. This is very interesting. Like remember once we are doing SVM or perceptron, this makes difficult for classification algorithm to learn. But decision tree is robust to missing attribute values, and it is robust to errors and classification labels as well. So this makes it very robust algorithm, ID3 and C4.5.